Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS. Fans, brews, and Broncos news. Good evening, Broncos Country. Welcome to another edition of the Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS Postgame Podcast. My name's Kevdan. We got Scott the Flagman. We got Adam, who is at least 6 feet tall. And we got John, who spends at least 3 hours on his hair every morning. And it pays off nicely.
It looks like it, too.
It does. It does. It's
good.
Always.
You get to this time of the day, it starts coming apart around this time of day. Catch me like 3 hours ago, it'd look a lot better. But
I hear you, man.
This side likes to come apart. This side, and if we want to talk about hair this whole episode, I'm okay.
We're not going to. We're gonna rip off the Band-Aid, guys. We're going to break down the disgustingness of what happened yesterday and we'll get it out of our system. I know we've had a little more than 24 hours to really think on it and dwell, but there's a lot to talk about here. A lot of good, but also a lot of bad. So let's while people are coming in, let's start off with some good, happy feelings, guys. Broncos offense looked good yesterday. And so let's kind of start talking about that. I think to be honest, normally we can go through like the first, second, third, fourth quarter. In general, the storyline was between the offense doing fairly well, at least compared to week one, and the defense just not. So let's start with the happy side of the offense. Scott, let's go to you first, man. And from the offensive side of the ball, Bo Nix, running game, all that stuff, what are some of the things that you saw that really kind of stood out to you?
I was so excited when I saw them run the ball at the start of the game. That first touchdown drive was beautiful. You're running the ball. You got Dobbins just busting it out, and then you're able to make some good pass plays. They move it right down and get a score. And they looked really solid. And I tell you, overall, the offense did their job. You score 28 points in a game, especially with how they built up the defense. This game should have been won by 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know. At the end of the game, you get this long run by J.K. Dobbins, and instead of just getting pumped up, he's got to slam the ball in. Stop the clock, mind you.
Right.
Lose 5 yards, and then we proceed to just not do anything after that. We could have taken the 20-yard line, kneeled down 3 times, and freaking kicked a field goal, won the game.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. So
we didn't.
I'm a little stressed out by that.
Yeah. Me too. John, buddy, guy, friend, help me feel better, man.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty much going to echo what Scott said there. 28 points in the game with, it seems like we should be winning almost every game if we're scoring that many points with this offense. And look, Bo Nix had a nice bounce back game. He wasn't god awful in week one, but it wasn't what we were hoping for by any means. So, 3 touchdown passes. That first half was amazing. First 3 quarters looked good. And then, I don't know how many Broncos players I heard in the locker room say they shot themselves in the foot, but that fourth quarter, it kind of just unraveled. And even that last defensive drive, I thought we were still going to find a way to win this game. I really didn't lose confidence until that last penalty, which we will be talking about.
Did something happen? Did something happen at the end of the game? that we talk about.
Yeah, but back to the offense, just, Dobbins, the running game, it was great to see the balance there in the first half, especially. And then that opening drive in the second half was awesome. We went right back to what worked in the first half, and especially the first drive. Everything looked to be going our way as long as our defense came alive. I don't want to keep talking about defense, but that might be the theme of this episode. But no, loved everything I was seeing from the offense, and I think it's going to give them confidence moving forward. And we'll see, if they can continue that this week against the Chargers.
Yeah. Adam, boy, what do you think, man?
Well, it's Adam, man.
I meant like just boy. I meant just like boy. Like this is a lot to take in. So
I hear,
like, boy. Like,
I hear you, buddy. I'm just giving you a hard time.
What an intro.
I know. Boy, like oh boy.
I'm gonna go a little bit different route. I know that we're talking about splitting a good run pass split, but Bo Nix still threw the ball 30 times, and we only ran the ball 4 times. J.K. Dobbins touched it 4. I mean, if you take out all the other ancillary runs, J.K. Dobbins had 14 carries. R.J. Harvey had, 4 or 5. So there's 19 carries. So it's still, this is not a run back. This is not a balanced offense. This is still Sean Payton throwing everything at Bo Nix and expecting maybe too much out of our second-year quarterback, especially on the road. I know that there's going to be critiques about the defense, and I think that they're fair. I just think that maybe Vance doesn't have maybe he's a great 1-2 puncher, but the minute you take that big right hand away, now suddenly he's a little and that's what it felt like yesterday. It felt like, oh, you're going to beat us with your pass rush? Okay, we'll just play sick. We'll just play jumbo coverages, or not coverages. We'll play jumbo protections, and we'll play 3 in the back, and that's fine. And we'll just and I haven't seen a game yet where VJ has really adjusted to that. If you go to the Baltimore game last year, didn't really adjust to that. Both LA games didn't really adjust to that. So this is the barometer now of, if you're going to take away what Denver does well, and that's get after the quarterback, how do you call your defense after that? Especially when they had a lead, when they don't have to have 6-man protections, and now they have to basically go 4 and 5, and he still couldn't get to them. So,
well, Tom Brady, I mean, Daniel Jones was really good yesterday.
I
said Tom Brady. What?
The Freudian slip. Yeah, exactly. All on accident, of course. Yes.
I'm sure that's not the first time that's happened.
I mean,
it might be.
I had an ex say anybody can do it once. So that's, I guess, hey, everybody gets their sweet hand every once in a while.
Find
even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Exactly. I am with you on that one, Flag Man. So
yeah.
Salud.
Well, talking about the offense, and again, the offense did a lot of good things yesterday. And talking about how this game ended, and I get there's frustration from fans for the refs, but it goes back to the saying, you have to win despite the refs. Yeah. And what could the offense have done to avoid or potentially avoid that game-ending situation? To me, it goes back to the 2-minute drill before halftime, which I don't know what that was, but that was the largest pile of Bronco shit. It wasn't horseshit. It was Bronco shit that we've seen for I mean, the play calling. I totally understand rushing up to the line of scrimmage. And I think they explain that well on TV. When you're right there, you don't want to burn a timeout. Just get to the line of scrimmage and go. Makes sense. But the play calls themselves and, throwing essentially to the middle of the field, you're not throwing to the sideline. You're throwing at or behind the line of scrimmage. Those things make absolutely zero sense to me. If anything, aim for the sideline, it's an incomplete, and then you get some time to talk about it. So to make these, for Bo Nix to even throw these passes, to where there's clearly a defender that's going to get them before they go out of bounds is just mind-boggling. So to me, that could have been a situation, plenty of time on the clock, plenty of timeouts, where we could have gotten another field goal at least had we been smart about it. But that whole situation, I think that was another key to the game where the Broncos shot themselves in the foot based off of whatever 2-minute drill play call they designed there was absolutely horrendous. So, guys, what do you think about that or anything else?
Well, first off, I think there is so much blame to go around.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I got 4 things that just cost them the game. One, obviously, they're not very disciplined in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, at the end, it got worse. Defensively, we can't stop the run. The defense was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching, awful. Special teams, once again, should have cost us the game last week. It didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It cost us this week. Between coverages, between not being able to execute things. I don't know. Why you're hell bent on blocking a 60-yard field goal from a guy that hasn't kicked over 50 yards.
Yeah, well, it was like
you're
58, 59 was his max.
Using techniques that are obviously not legal. Now, most of the time, I've seen that call about once or twice in 10 years.
Especially in that situation.
Whatever.
It's always
it was bullshit. They called it there.
It really is. It's a subjective thing because it's like holding could be called on every play. That's what offensive and defensive lines say every single time that there's holding call that you can call on every play. To me, it seemed like an entirely subjective time to interject yourself into the game. Like, it looks like it's incidental contact. It doesn't look like Roach is or it doesn't look like 𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐿, I think, is trying to cause the contact, or Tillman. He just gets pushed into it. It's incidental. He uses his arm
on the kick. The kick was going to not make it anyway.
Right.
Keep flagging. And how many times have they picked up flags and said, "Oh, there was no foul on that play"?
I can't say if it was
that instance.
I can't say it was Tillman.
If he blocked it, I could see him maybe calling it.
I can't see Tillman doing that on purpose to try to, because it's a very if we want to say anything, it's almost like Indy was playing for that 60-yard field goal. Like they
were.
Yeah, they were.
I was getting like Nathaniel Hackett PTSD flashback of like, what do we do? I'm like, oh, okay, if you want to play for the 60-yarder, I guess. I don't think like I said, I think it's incidental contact. You could call it for every play, for every field goal attempt. This was the one that they decided to call for whatever reason. I don't know.
That was a crazy call. And I'm not even saying it was the wrong call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you go back through the weekend, that could have been called probably 15 times this week.
Yeah.
That's my anger at the call. It's the timing of it. You don't call that when it didn't affect anything.
Yeah.
At the end of a game, the only thing it affected was who won the game.
Yep.
And that was bullshit.
Right. No, I think there's interesting situations I was talking about. I mean, it's tough to delineate, and the rules are already so complicated as they are. But, if you have a holding on the left side of the field and the run, everything, everything went to the opposite side of the field. And you're like, it has no impact whatsoever. Why is that a penalty? It's the same, like, okay, maybe there was a little bit of leverage, but he didn't get anything out of it. He didn't tip the ball. So if it doesn't impact the play, why is it a penalty? And again, it just like, that's the way it is. And, do you really want to add 30, 40 more what if scenarios to these penalty rules and everything? And it's already so complicated, but it's tough, man. Let's see. Roy says, I'm sure you'll get into it, but yeah, the leverage call was correct. I watched about 7-8 times watching it and why it shouldn't have been. So
I
again,
agree.
by the letter of the law, agreed.
I
But then the
agree.
conversation circles around
100%.
to, was that necessary to call there? Was anybody injured? Was there any malicious intent? Was there, did they gain an unfair advantage? And no, they didn't. And the ball wasn't snapped wrong. Like there was nothing that went wrong with that play.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was unfortunate because, like you guys have said, like it didn't affect, like he didn't gain anything by doing it, and it looked to me like he was just bracing himself because the lineman goes up as he's jumping and going forward. So by the letter of the law, yes, okay, leverage, but the spirit of the call was not correct in that situation, that's not how rules work.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with the call in principle.
Right.
But you can almost call it every single time.
Yeah, the fact that it's deciding the game in that moment is, it's unfortunate for you never want to get into end like that. I don't care what, no fan wants that. I mean, if you're a Colts fan, I guess you do, but, and we're just the unlucky ones this week to have that decided, but it never should have come down to this in the first place. That whole fourth quarter was a train wreck. And we had every opportunity to close out this game, including a much shorter 42-yard field goal. And so
there you go. Which
that could have been even closer if we didn't, have two penalties that, the first one with the spike, that's just, I mean, I get it. He thinks he basically just won the game. He's excited. He spikes the ball. It literally goes right up in the air and falls in front. Like, did he really delay the game? Again, spirit of that rule. But that's the rule,
It's a spirit.
He's a veteran.
Where are you? Yeah, where are you calling the flag? It's situational football, but it's also disciplined teams don't do this to themselves, and that's also I think where we need to have a conversation, at least. And again, we don't need to be out in front of Dove Valley with our pickets, our torches and our pickets, whatever pokey things. I don't know the name for it right now. But
pitchforks and lanterns.
Pitchfork, thank you, Flagman.
I like pokey things.
Pokey things. Pokey things. That's a technical term. Anyway, but we can have the conversation where I don't think Sean Payton has been blameless in some aspects. And the undisciplined factors of his team, both offense and defense, could be attributed to him. This is his hand-picked special teams coordinator, who we were promised thoroughly throughout the offseason that the two special teams gaffes that cost us games last season were not going to cost us this year. And guess what? We have now lost a game on special teams.
Almost lost two. Again, last week, week one.
Yeah.
I mean.
So no, I think it is entirely fair to be putting Sean Payton and some of his decisions under the microscope a little bit, especially if he wants to have the expectations. If he wants to have the expectations, then he can deal with the criticism as well. That comes with that.
I do want to move on to this, and we can definitely circle back to this because I'm sure it's going to come back up in the comments again. But I do want to point out one thing that the Colts did that surprised me, and I think could very well kind of change the outcourse of how teams are going to game plan against us this year. Bill here says weak secondary, very average just this game. Moss, very average. And it's not so much just looking at Moss, but what the Colts did is they said, I don't care how scary you say Pat Surtain is. I don't care that he's a defensive player of the year. We're going to throw to him and see how he does. And it paid off. And all of a sudden, I think other teams around the league are looking at him going, I think we could probably spare throwing to him a couple more times. And I mean, look, he drew a penalty. He was 7, he allowed 7 receptions on 9 targets. So he wasn't, he wasn't playing amazing. Now I know his ankle got wrapped up and stuff, but he wasn't playing amazing before that either. What do you see there?
I think the ankle injury is way more of a issue than being made out to be. I mean, he was targeted 7, never, however many times. I think he didn't allow any yards after catch for any of those catches. The one to Pittman that I kind of heard as I was coming in, yeah, it's unfortunate, but he was right there. It's not like he was out of position. It's not like
No.
I mean, no, I think it's an ultimate respect to PS2 to say that these guys are getting hyped up about getting a catch against him.
Yeah.
So they get like this little 9-yard stick route. Yeah, there we go. I'm like, dude, you got a 9-yard stick route, and he pulled you down the minute like he was there to make the stop. Like he didn't get anything after that.
Problem is, they only needed 8 yards.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like nine or 8. That's still enough.
That's where
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying though. Yeah.
I think the ankle was more of a factor than there. But what were you gonna say, John?
Yeah, we'll see how the ankle plays out. He seems to think he'll be able to walk it off. They seem to think it's not going to be an issue. I'll say that to your point, Adam, the coverage was tight. I mean, 2 of those were. I mean, one he tipped and the guy still caught it, and the other one,
like, what do you do?
Like the coverage was there. So I mean, honestly, if teams are going to start dialing it up to Surtain, fine. Like, okay, prove it. Prove that he doesn't deserve to be the defensive player of the year, and prove that he can't bounce back from this game. Like, it's not like he was giving up huge plays. Now the defense was giving up big chunk plays, but it wasn't, because of Surtain, in my opinion.
No.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
Problem. Okay, you caught it for 9 yards. Okay, but you're still moving the ball, and that's what the defense could not stop. They were moving the ball forward on every single play, and we were not getting the pass rush there. They clearly had a game plan against this defense of getting the ball out early, getting the run game established, and it worked. If I'm any other NFL playing the Broncos this week, I'm looking at this game and being like, well, here's the recipe to beat this supposedly top defense. It looked too easy for Daniel Tom Brady Jones. Daniel Jones is going to beat us like that? Come on.
Look, the thing is, you make adjustments. If that's what they're doing is nickel and diming you tighten it up. You don't just keep playing the same defense constantly. Right. And I don't know that we made any adjustments. I didn't see a lot of I just didn't see a lot of changes that were going to impact the game. They kept playing man-to-man, and they're just throwing at will across the middle of the field. You think that Warren is tearing us up? Wait till we get to Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that.
Get to the guy in the Raiders.
Yeah.
You know what, Tyler?
We got some good tight ends coming up. We can't cover this guy.
Yeah.
I'll say right now, I know that it's very easy to put the defense under the microscope like that. But it was the big play that killed us. VJ did talk about in his presser during the week that one of the points of emphasis was really cleaning up the big plays. Obviously, that didn't see that, but that I think kind of going back to the things that we were concerned about at the start of the year, our inside linebacker play really let us down yesterday. I have talked about how Justin Sternad, who did get trucked by 𝐂𝐸𝐴𝐻 in a game, and we all saw that. I saw that, and I have to bring it up every time that we talk about Justin Sternad. It's like he was very average yesterday. He has one good game, and then he has a very average game after that. Alex Singleton, I mean, is a legit crazy man, but Alex Singleton was not good yesterday at all. And if we thought this was going to be a potential, vulnerability on the defense, it bore itself out yesterday. If we don't get good linebacker play, for as good as the defense is, they're not good enough to overcome one unit that was very, very, very subpar yesterday.
Yes, yep. I agree.
That's interesting. You can point to, go for it.
I was just going to say the middle of the field was suspect at best. I mean, there was just like, hey, run as free as you want. And is that personnel? Is that scheme? Is it a combination? I mean, that's the weakness covered up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You make adjustments.
Well, it felt like the first half they were beating us through the air. They had whatever their game plan was, they nailed it. And then it's like we forgot, they can also run the ball very, very well. And then Jonathan Taylor just took over. And, if Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor are having a monster game against us, we have some real question marks here with the defense.
I mean, Zach.
Well, if you want to look at it, numbers wise, we had held Jonathan Taylor to 38 yards in the first half. Yeah. 38 yards. He ended the day with 165.
Yeah.
So he got 130 plus yards in a half. You say we forgot about him? We totally forgot about him.
He's just one of the best running backs in the league.
And props to him. But that's the thing. Like, we did a good job in the first half, but whatever adjustments we made in the second half clearly didn't work. I mean, if there was any at all, whatever adjustments the Colts made in the second half to get their run game going worked perfectly. And we were just not able to overcome that in any fashion.
At the end of the day, they still should have won the game.
I was going to say,
how about just a little bit of composure, some professionalism, some sense of where you are when you make those big mistakes. You make a mistake that doesn't, in the first quarter, like they did in the fourth quarter, you overcome it.
Yeah.
You do it in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left. And that's what's got me worried more than anything. We are making dumb errors like we used to.
Yeah.
And this is not what I expected from Sean Payton. And I do believe, now, here's what I do believe. They'll fix it. They will fix it, or they'll get players that will fix it. But I don't know. You listen to after the game, those players know they just totally fumbled away a win.
I think everyone knows that.
Yeah, literally. Okay, guys, it is halftime here at the Bourbon Broncos No BS halftime or a post-game podcast show. So let's go through some announcements as we take a little break from just reliving all the day that was yesterday. Look, guys, we got a ton of stuff here for you. And win, lose, tie, whatever the Broncos do, we are going to be here. This is our 10th year of covering the Broncos, and so you're not going to get rid of us anytime soon. We are here every Monday night for the post-game show, unless the Broncos play on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Tuesday night is our flagship show of Bourbon Broncos No BS every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We also got the pregame podcast, which is on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, uploaded no later than the day before the game. And then we also got 2 game day shows, 1 hour before kickoff, our live tailgate talk show, going over all the last minute information, the inactives list, and just getting some score predictions in and everything before kickoff. And then live at every halftime for every Broncos game, we are live with the halftime hash show as well. So tons of content. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever, whatever is out there now. I'm losing track of all of them. Make sure you're following us. We're there. Click all those buttons. Click all those buttons, guys. We are still, unfortunately, now 9 games away still from the 10-win Bo Nix jersey giveaway. If/when, because I don't want to jinx anything, the Broncos hit 10 wins this season, we will be giving away 3 Bo Nix jerseys to random fans. So make sure you're following us along for that. We're also going to be doing some prize giveaways later this year as part of our 10-year anniversary. So the way to enter that and just be patient for when that comes around is to show that you are following us on different platforms, and each platform you follow us is an entry for that prize that we're going to be giving away later this year. So might as well just go around and follow us in all the different places now. Also, make sure you head over to broncosandbourbon.com. It's right there above Scott's beautiful, handsome face. Sign up today for free. And anybody who signs up this season is going to be upgraded for free to the next membership level tier once we introduce the tier leveling next year. We also have our Easter egg challenge on the website still going on. Nobody, as far as I've checked recently, has found the Easter egg yet. Guys, it's a little joke. So you will understand it once you've seen it. We've seen a couple guesses so far. So people are looking, but let's go over the hints for everybody so far. One, new users are more likely to find the Easter egg than existing users. And we kind of added another hint before the game last week that if you are an existing user, maybe you just want to go back and pretend like you're creating a new account for the first time and maybe see if there's something in there that strikes your fancy. No, it is not the John Elway as the name example. No, it is not the Go Broncos at gobroncos.com for the email example. Those are good guesses. Those are just examples of what to put into those fields. So those are not the actual Easter egg. But keep looking, guys. If we don't have anything in the next week or two, I'll be giving out another hint. But some of you guys are close. You're at least looking in the general right area.
Yeah.
You're getting there. You're getting there. So
getting warmer.
Okay, guys. Let's push forward some more Broncos talk here as we try to just and before we do this officially, I do want to give a nice salute to our friend over in Australia, Matt Smith, who never disappoints to make sure he's here every week to just, get a little poke in at the Broncos. But do appreciate him tuning in from Australia. Guys, we're international. We got people in Canada, UK. I know we have followers over in Japan, Mexico, Italy. We're all over the place. So worldwide international. I do want to start with this comment here as we go on to the second half of the show. Ingram, interesting, because this was something that we really highlighted after the first week's game. We saw flashes from Ingram and kind of a example of what they could possibly use him for in preseason. He had a couple of really nice catches. You're like, okay, this is a guy that we can really utilize to our advantage. But over the first 2 weeks of the season has been essentially non-existent. Now, so the question is that injury still a problem? And if that's the case, what's going on? Or is it just still more of week one carrying over to where it's like, we're just totally underutilizing this guy? So any thoughts from you all?
I think sometimes Sean overthinks.
Yeah.
What he's doing.
Yay. I'll listen to that.
It would not shock me to think that he's just kind of saving him for the right moment. Problem is, when you need him at the end of a game with 4 minutes left to get a first down, where is he? I'm just not. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it's driving me crazy because I think this guy should be 70, 80 yards each game. I mean, you look at Kelsey, he's always the guy they throw to on third down.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did Cortland miss a flight?
Yeah. And I didn't. I mean, I don't know if he was just incredibly well covered all game. I mean, they did throw to him a couple times, but he wasn't.
I think he got 1 for 6.
Yeah.
1 for 6 on 4 targets.
And the guy I used to hate has become my favorite player. Just it's.
And which player is that?
That'd be Troy Franklin.
He's your favorite player.
Hell of a game.
You're a very fickle man, Flag Man.
Yeah,
I am. Did you see Vele catch a touchdown pass the other day?
I saw him catch a touchdown passes last year. What do you say, John? What do you think about why can't we get Evan Ingram involved?
Well, here's I think to the bigger point is who was not involved in this game, including Ingram, of course. Okay, there was some injury concern going through the week, and maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, where was Sutton? their number one cornerback was not playing in this game. How are we not able to get the ball to Sutton? And as much as I, think that Bo took steps forward this week in week 2 compared to week 1. Yeah, Troy Franklin was the only receiver that seemed to be in this game. I think Pat Bryant, he made some good catches, but he only had 2 of them. And why aren't we getting Pat Bryant more involved? Why aren't we getting Sutton the ball? Why isn't Ingram getting the ball? RJ Harvey was non-existent in this game except for a nice catch and run of 16 yards. So it was the Troy Franklin show on offense for the most part. And that worked in the first half. Look, if that first half is how we play every half, fine. Throw it to Troy Franklin every drive. But I don't know if they just picked up on it. I mean, overall, the offense put us in scoring position more times than not in this game. We didn't execute in the fourth quarter, but I just don't understand how these guys were not getting involved more and why it turned into the Troy Franklin show for the game.
Yeah.
To your point, Flagman, Troy Franklin looked awesome in this game. And I'm bummed he didn't get over 100 yards with how he was playing. And the fourth quarter was not his friend, but we got to get these other guys going too.
Yeah.
I like Richie's comment. Some of these players, you got to wonder, and it's tough because 2 weeks into the season, right? And try not to carry over things we saw from last year, because last year, young team, new team, first year of a rebuild, right? This is, okay, we have experience now, so kind of judging it based off what we've seen so far. So we only have 2 data points. And you got to remember, and I'm going to try and find the stat here as you guys talk, Sean Payton is not good in September. And it's not to say he's bad. He's very average in September compared to the other months of the season. So look, this might just be one of those weird Septemberism games that's like, look, it's going to hurt at the end of the season to look back and say that's one that we should have had. But this isn't something that, I'm going to throw this in there now because obviously this is a painful game to recount. At least we're better than the Chiefs right now. Look, I just want to throw it out there for the time being. We're better than the Chiefs. So there's something to be positive to build off of. But it's going to be interesting to see how they take these things. It's when you win a game, you can look at it and say, it was a close game. There are a lot of mistakes that we need to clean up, but we won. Versus, okay, that was a game we should have won and didn't because of a lot of similar mistakes from the week previous. So at what point are you going to wake up and make these changes?
I also think that we need to stop maybe saying that Bo had a better first half yesterday. He was more efficient. He still barely only cracked 200 yards passing yesterday. Right. So it's not like anybody set the world on fire. I took a lot of guff.
Nice throws, though. He really did.
I took a lot of heat for saying that I didn't want to pay Courtland Sutton that kind of money, and I was roundly criticized by a lot of gentlemen who will remain nameless, by the way.
I'll stick with my comments on that one, Adam.
I'm just saying you don't want to pay the guy that kind of change when he has that kind of games more often than he has circus catches. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's why you don't pay those guys. Yes, I know he's been a good soldier.
Last time Sutton had 1 catch for 6 yards in the game.
That's bad. That's why you
don't.
When
was the last time that happened? I don't know what the last time that was.
Bro, he had a game last season where he didn't have a catch.
1 game?
We're not gonna revisit it. I'm not gonna revisit it because then I'm gonna get angry.
Henry had 20 yards yesterday. Now, granted, they won 41-17, so no one's complaining. But
that is the ultimate equalizer. There. All things are forgiven in victory. So,
right, exactly. Granted, again, I go back to the comment. How could they have their backup cornerback? Like their number 1 cornerback was not in the game. How are we not getting our number 1?
2 people out. I thought they had 2 cornerbacks out.
They had their starting corner out, and they had another guy out with a hamstring.
I think it was a linebacker.
Yeah, and then they had Latu out, who
that's something.
Their best pass rusher. So I mean, we moved the ball, and but I mean, one of those field goals you turn into, you turn into a touchdown. That changes the complexion of the game.
I don't know. Maybe you stop them on defense.
The pick
once or twice.
The pick that Bo
had.
0
punts. He did not punt the ball once.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Now, look, in previous games, we've allowed big chunk plays, and we have this whole bend, don't break mentality, and that's fine.
Hey, that's fine too.
But not the entire game. Like 2-3 series, sure. But you're doing this the entire game, and it just, you throw 2 touchdowns in there, and all of a sudden you do need more than 28 points to beat a team, and you're not a top defense anymore.
You leave.
Are we really saying this after one game? Are we really saying? Are we really saying?
In the context of the game. In the context of the game.
In the context of the game, they were bad in the second half. Are we saying that they are not a top 10?
In the first half too, they were bad. The whole game.
I would have to disagree with that. I would have to.
Defense.
They only stopped them once.
They did not punt the ball once.
Come on, man.
And what I will say within that though, if your defense still is giving you the chance to win and you still had the lead going into half and you still got the ball back after half, then the defense is doing enough for you to win the game.
Yeah, but the offense also gave the defense the chance to win the game.
It was symbiotic both ways. It was symbiotic both ways. You can't put that. You can't put that
on one side than the other.
You can't put that. I've seen the defense, and maybe I feel like the defense is maybe taking too many punches, and maybe I need to stand up for them just a little bit.
And
not Cortland Sutton, who had 1 catch yesterday.
What's that?
And not Cortland Sutton, who had 1 catch yesterday. Just did.
I'm calling it out. Like, I don't understand how we're not getting the ball. Like, I agree. In this game, yes, if this is the only barometer, yeah, we should not be paying Cortland Sutton if he's getting 1 catch for 6 yards.
Right. It's just going to be interesting how they do this moving forward because, again, the Colts secondary was somewhat depleted yesterday. And it just goes back to, like, this is a game we thought Cortland Sutton would at least be, I'm all for spreading the ball around, right? Get other targets the ball so that it takes some of the pressure off Cortland Sutton. But you would think that Sutton would flourish after a certain point in the game because we've thrown the ball to so many other people. The one thing I do want to go back and just kind of highlight, again, ChatGPT lies, so keep that in mind. But from what we're seeing, Sean Payton has a win-loss record in September of 30 wins and 28 losses. I just want to we talked about
I really want to drive that point home.
I do. Well, and I'm just because I have hope. Right. This is just week 2. I want to look ahead.
Did we spread the ball around, Kev? Because
I would say so.
Had 9 targets and no one else had more than 4.
Right.
So, yes, we spread it around to like 10 different people. I guess that adds up. So I guess that is spread.
I mean, it does. But if you're throwing it 30 times, you're barely cracking 200 yards, and your best weapons aren't seeing the ball. Is the offense really playing to their capability as well? I'm just, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Fair. But to Flagman's point, if we're putting up 28 points, we should be beating a majority of teams.
Yeah.
A vast majority. I'm sorry, Adam. You don't want to hate the defense. I get it. I don't want to hate the defense.
If not for a BS leverage call, we would have won the game. If not for a BS leverage call, they actually did get the stop to get a force of 60 yards. That should have won. They did their job.
100%. Which I wish this conversation was sitting around, the Colts bad bad play calling at the end of the game to just run it up the middle for no loss of yards when their offense was doing so well against us passing the ball all game.
Odd.
I don't even take one chance to get 10, 15 more yards on a pass play because it's been so effective. Why do you just then say we're going to run up the middle 3 times?
That's a good point.
And accept this. That's the conversation I wish we were having, sitting here pointing and laughing at the Colts head coach going, what are you doing? Like, well, that was so stupid. You guys were doing so well. Why did you just give up at the end of the day, right? You're not kicking in Mile High. Like, that's a totally different game, idea there. But no, it goes back to the Broncos did do a good job defensively at the very end of the game until that flag. So, and Brad, I just want to say, look, I'd rather be complaining about Cortland Sutton than complaining about. Broncos are 1-0, Browns are 0-2. So,
is there anybody that wishes we had Jerry Jeudy? That's all I want to know.
I have never
seen one Jerry Jeudy.
No.
Okay. Nobody's sitting here going, I wish we had kept him. Maybe Brad. Maybe Brad is, but
Maybe
that's okay. He's in Australia. Things are like upside down over there.
They're backwards.
Oh,
man. Okay, guys, let's kind of do some big picture takeaways here. We kind of talked about the coaching. We kind of talked about the defense, passing. I don't know. What other things stood out to you from this?
Real quick, Kevin, I have a question here because I was really confused on that final Colts drive. You can make fun of their play calling, whatever. Why, when they're on their side of the 50-yard line, are we taking those timeouts to stop the clock? Like the idea, I heard him explain it in his press conference at the end of the day. I didn't quite understand. They're not in field goal range. Why are we giving them more time to, come up with dumb calls, in my opinion? But
to me. No, I think it's a fair question. To me, the way they were moving the ball, I think you kind of assumed that they were going to get in field goal position. Plus, you're just trying to give your defenders a chance to catch their breath to maybe make a play in or stop. It's a desperation move at that point. It's not like they were on the 30-yard line. They were at the 50. Their own 45. Like they were getting there.
They were on their side of the 50 for that 60-yarder.
Kind of just trying to. At that point, you're just doing everything you can to, one, either try to generate a play in your favor, and two, save as much time on the clock as you possibly can. At
that point, though, they needed a first down to be in field goal range. So why are we stopping the clock and not letting that, not letting the play clock run down? And his explanation. It didn't satisfy me at all in that press conference. No. I've never seen that before. Okay, if they're in field goal range, yes, preserve the clock, maybe give us a chance. But they weren't. And then when they did get the first down, guess what? We're out of timeouts. So now we couldn't preserve the clock if they had gotten an earlier. I don't know. I didn't.
If you take the timeouts earlier, it kind of locks Indy into having to kick that longer field goal because now they're because you're kind of condensing the clock for them as well as yourself. I don't like it because, again, you're not giving yourself the flexibility to win it at the end. And there wasn't a ton of time that we could have forced a punt and gotten that. That would have been the first punt of the day. Who
cares? We kneel it anyway. Like we need, I guess,
again, to me, it's when do you want to use your timeouts? Do you want to use it to give yourself more time, or do you want to use it to, when it's whatever flavor that you want to do at that point. Again, since we're talking about Sean and his questionable tactics sometimes, I mean, I do think he was actually mostly good and mostly conservative yesterday. But then that kind of goes back to where I think sometimes that's where I needed you to gamble a little bit yesterday, was maybe push that envelope a little bit to kind of. That was maybe a game where you needed to chase the vibe a little bit and not, I don't know. So I agree with you, John, that I wasn't
understanding it at all.
I got the point a little bit, kind of abstractly, but I would have liked to seen those timeouts called somewhere else.
I would have liked,
especially when they're not in field goal range.
They're not in field goal range. They can't stop them. They don't get a first down. It doesn't matter. If they do get a first down, now you're going to want those timeouts.
The damn ball.
Scott, yeah.
Give me a break, man. Stop the damn ball.
Yeah.
Make a play. Somebody make a freaking play. This is the difference between what we had in 2015 and what we have now. Somebody always made the play. And we were just now, we were close. Well, we're such a great defense. It should not have happened. But come on. Somebody make a damn play. And then if you can't, then somebody don't make a stupid mistake at the end.
Yeah. And there are multiple
stupid
mistakes. Yeah. Stupid multiple mistakes. I mean, the 3 penalties, and not even and Tillman did a lot of good things during the game. Unfortunately, this is all we're talking about. I kept seeing his name and him doing things and making plays throughout the entirety of the game. Now he 2 at the end of the game, or 3 in the fourth quarter, totally. That just like we were talking about before, totally undisciplined plays, right? And one play we haven't talked about is near the end of the game, Broncos last drive, 1st and 25, and we run it up the middle. Why? Can someone explain to me? Like, they'll never see this coming, right? It's like, and then you run it up the middle for like 1 yard. You're like, okay, well, now they definitely know we're going to throw the ball, the next 2 plays, and nothing, we didn't, minus Engram's, just getting us into field goal range there. But it was like you wasted a play there. So there were just a whole lot of bad decisions in the fourth quarter from a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, Sean's got to get better. But I'm really jumping off the VJ bandwagon because I never was on it to a full degree. And then it's like, okay, we're there. And I'm jumping on, man. I'm like grabbing onto the side of that thing, and I'm just trying to get myself on it. And I'm thinking, why?
Why?
Why? He always talks a really good game, but why? I don't know why I'm there. They just keep pulling me back.
Takes one game for a flag game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, but part of it is you go back and he doesn't adjust. When he needs to adjust, he doesn't adjust.
That is fair.
Fair.
I felt like we saw adjustments last year, though, and that's why I felt like the second half was going to go a lot better. And I guess if you allow 3 field goals and a half, I guess you can say that's okay. I don't know. And, if that's all you allow, is that really adjustments? They took over with the run game. They were able to move the ball pretty freely throughout the game. I'm not off the Vance Joseph bandwagon yet, Scott. It's going to take at least a few.
I'm not either. I believe you.
I heard it. I heard it.
I think we all heard it. I am not on the VJ bandwagon. I've never liked the guy. Well, he's a bad neighbor.
I'll tell you what.
He doesn't take in his garbage cans.
To make it a little easier there.
Yeah.
But I am on the Bo bandwagon because I think this offense will make – I do. I think this offense can do this every week. And 28 points most weeks is going to
get it done.
Drive us there. I really do believe that. And not so much Vance Joseph, but I love our players.
Yep.
We have some real playmakers on defense. Now put them in a position to make plays.
Yeah. Where was the pass rush yesterday? Where was the run stop? It was non-existent.
Only one sack. Only one sack, and that was off a blitz.
Or not.
Yeah.
The one time, we're talking about what blind squirrels and nuts, like too.
And that's something like that.
So,
well, guys, we are getting close to the end. So before I make some announcements, let's and do our closing thoughts. Let's leave it on this. This is a good comment from Michael. Every team has those bad days. Yesterday was hopefully just our defense's bad day. Really trusting, hoping they'll get it cleaned up. You can't discount the way the offense looked so much better in a tough environment on a road game, right? They made strides between week 1 and week 2, and that's really positive to see. So let's get into closing thoughts here in a minute. Adam, we'll start with you. But first, before we do that, guys, remember tomorrow night, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we got our show, Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS, breaking down kind of recapping last week's game and then moving forward to the next week's game. We also have our pregame podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. You can also listen to this post-game podcast on those platforms as well. So make sure you're following us on all those different places. Game day this next week, we got the Chargers out in LA. We will be live 1 hour before kickoff with all the last-minute information, as well as the live halftime hash show as well. And then this time next week, Monday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, we'll be breaking down that game and having another post-game podcast. So season's rolling, guys. Broncos are going. And look, at least we're 1-1. That's better than 0-2. And we'll just build it off from here, right? So see how it goes. But also, guys, remember, broncosandbourbon.com. Go over there, sign up for free this season. And anybody who signs up for free this season is going to get free automatic upgrade next year. when we introduce those membership tiers. And for whoever finds the Easter egg is going to get a lifetime top tier membership to the website. So make sure you can try to find that. It's going to be only offered once. I've decided I will never offer this again. It will be just for one person. So make sure you try to go find that. You guys are getting close. I can feel it. Some of you guys are getting close. Okay, Adam, let's start with you, buddy. Closing thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I've been a little down since yesterday, and then Kevdan got me said the words today that have kind of picked me up a little bit, and that is Sean Payton is not very good in September. And I seem to remember last season having a bunch of optimism coming out of the preseason, only for Bo Nix to look very ordinary in his first 2 starts. And I think we were all kind of circling the wagons of like, oh no, we may have a very long season ahead of us again. And then something happened in the 3rd game, and everything was fine. So I am going to be take a departure from my Johnny Raincloud, tell it like it is, crotchety old man, while I don't look like it demeanor, and say Denver is going to go out on Sunday and whoop some Chargers and look like the team we all think they can be, because it's the 3rd game of the season.
I like it.
Mic drop.
I like it.
I might take a few minutes here.
It's like the Emmys. We're gonna take money away from the Boys and Girls Club if you go over.
Which Boys and Girls Club? Anyways, City is losing the money. Anyways, I don't know. I think as fans, this might have been a trap game for us a little bit. I think we wrote it off as an easy win. Yeah, myself included. I've made the joke that we had 2 extra preseason games this year. And so we'll see. We'll see what the Colts look like at the end of the year. They might be a surprise team for the rest of the season. Who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones will prove why he was a an early first round pick. I don't know. I will be thoroughly shocked. Maybe not as much after yesterday. But I don't think the team overall probably saw it as a trap game, unless the defense did. But I don't know how you possibly could after the Colts whooped the Dolphins 33-10 the previous week. So I can't imagine this was a trap game for the defense overall. I have concerns about the defense, but it is week 2. I have full faith. Flagman, you brought it up earlier. I think the leadership of this team is strong enough to pull us through this and learn from the mistakes. I think the defense, if we're losing games because of defense all year, I will buy another jersey. That's clear. Different, but I will be thoroughly shocked if that is the case this year. This defense is too good. It's not even feasible for me to think of that for the season moving forward. It is week 2. It's a long season. And at the end of the day, maybe this, pushing back months down the road, maybe this is actually a good thing. Maybe this turns out to be what the Broncos needed as a wake-up.
Yeah.
A lot of lessons learned. Maybe the offense looked better. The defense can get right the ship very quickly. I believe in that. And, we can get the whole team firing on all cylinders quickly because of this type of a game. And, adversity early on might not be the worst thing in the world. And every team loses one or two, every good team even loses 1 or 2 games where it's like, where the hell did that come from?
Yep.
And maybe we look back at the end of the season and be like, well, that was a weird loss, but hey, the outcome at the end of the day might be better because of it. So that's my, fingers crossed what's happening here. And we can prove it on Sunday against the Chargers. And this is a huge matchup early in the season.
Very much.
Especially with the following 2 games after that.
Very much.
Yep. Well said. Scott, what you got?
I tell you what, I do like the accountability that some of the players took for this loss. I like that. The fact that our best pass rusher is blaming himself for not getting to Daniel Jones fast enough. That's a big part of it. overall, there's got to be a little accountability.
Yep.
I think it will be.
You've got to realize, you know what? Doesn't matter what they said a month ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's now go time. And I liked how the offense responded. I did not particularly like how our defense responded. Now, we got a West team, divisional team we're playing next week.
Yep.
That makes a big difference. At worst, this week, we're going to be in second place
Right.
with the Chiefs in the bottom.
If they finish last in the division, I'll be one of the happiest people on earth. Sorry, Flag.
Oh,
You
my
know?
goodness.
So, I do believe Chargers are going to probably beat the Raiders. And if they do, they're in first place.
Yeah.
We beat them next week, which I do believe we will, because they're the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
We will be tied with them.
Yep.
And who knows where the Raiders and the Chiefs will be.
Right.
But it's a long season.
It is.
And this talk of, suddenly we can't win the West is crazy talk.
Right.
Just
Reactionary.
do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Remain true to who you are. I do believe this team has a lot of talent. Now let's put forth that talent and make it work.
Yep. Well said. Look, end of the day, guys, it is it's only week 2. Obviously this was a situation where we were hoping to be 2-0, for our benefit, just to kind of get us rolling and all that stuff. But
Yes.
look, every team has to overcome it. Every team faces, like you're saying, unless you're that one Dolphins team that was undefeated the whole season long. And everybody else has to overcome. I can't remember which year, 1972. 72. Okay. Whatever. They're not Broncos, so
Who cares?
Fair.
But look, how do they respond? And that's what we're looking for, because a well-disciplined, well-motivated team that's all on the same page is going to respond positively, right? They're going to go out there and at least put up, and all you can ask for is them to put up the best fight they possibly can, which is not what we saw last week. So as long as they go out there and they put up their fight and they perform well on both sides of the ball, special teams cleans up. I don't think Will Lutz is going to miss another kick anytime soon. He's human. It was just the worst time for him to miss this one kick out of a million. So bad luck in that regard. But he's human, right? You can't fault him for those kinds of things. So these things will get cleaned up. Season's going to progress. And we're going to see where we are. And before too long, when we talk about playoff picture and all that stuff, right? So this isn't something where we're looking at the Broncos saying, hey, we're tapping out like the Dolphins are. Let's go have some players only meetings, and wave the white flag on the season. We're sitting here saying, okay, like that sucked, in many ways, but there are a lot of positives to build off of. And let's go out there this next week and win a divisional game on the road early in the season and make a statement. So that's where we're at, and it's going to be interesting to see.
It.
So with that being said, Scott the flag man, Adam, who is 6 feet tall, his birthday was not recently. He does look 22, but he is wise beyond his years. That is for sure. And John, you're fantastic as always too, sir.
And has great hair. And has great hair.
Very great hair. Very great hair. Guys, you're fantastic co-hosts. Everybody in the comments, you guys are fantastic. Remember, this is why we do this, is so we can get together and have some good times talking about the Broncos. So that being said, we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time for Bourbon, Broncos and OBS. Make sure you are there. It's going to be fun. But, man, I've got nothing left to say other than end this show as we always do on a very strong Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Take care, guys. We'll see you later.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right, and I go with the flow.